Hey, it's Sandra from Inspired Keyboardist. Thanks so much for tuning in for the next 5 worship music director tips that I have to offer. If you haven't watched the first 5, so be sure to click the link below so that I can link you to the very first video. This is the second part video. So here we go. Tip number 6. During free worship, sometimes we might just need to spontaneously repeat a certain chord progression. As a music director, you need to think on the spot and make some creative decisions on behalf of the whole team. So for example, suddenly, unplanned, we've got a pastor who starts coming up to speak after song 4 and you guys totally didn't plan for it. But you can just make some decisions on the spot and just feel in your head like, okay, should we sort of start to repeat the chord progressions of maybe the bridge? Then you can just say into the microphone, guys, we're going to repeat the bridge for this section that has not been planned for, and everyone they can listen to you and they can just follow, and that would save us from the disaster of everyone playing different things. And yeah, that's a really great way to keep everyone together. So take the lead, make some creative decisions, and jump right into it. Communicate that properly. So right now, the 7th tip. Sometimes when the tempo goes a little bit off track, especially when, it's the beginning of a song, or maybe it's like a massive drop, and then the drummer stops for a short while, and then the congregation just sings with the backing of just a pad, and then sometimes you just don't have a sense of tempo. It's very easy for everyone to just sort of go a little bit off track, especially when the congregation starts to sing it a little bit off. And so as the music director, I find that it's really important to speak into the microphone and actually count out loud the beat numbers, like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes if, for example, your church doesn't have the microphone thing where the band members can hear through the in-ear monitors, kind of fancy stuff, what you can do is just to nod your head. It looks a little bit silly, but at least it's a form of leadership. And since you guys are probably not near enough to just talk and say, guys, this speed, you can't. But as a music director, you can take the lead, you can play on your instrument, and with your head, just go like. So people can probably even lip read you saying out the numbers. And anyway, the band musicians should fix their eyes on you quite a bit to make sure that they're always communicating correctly with you. So yes, count out loud the numbers or use your head to nod to keep the time. So I think it's really important that we all play according to the same beat. So yeah, go ahead and just unite everyone together by calling out the beat numbers. So tip number 8 is that I think band dynamics is really fun because there are so many different instruments that shine at different moments. And as the music director, you have the glorious job of deciding, okay, so who's going to take the lead? So for some of our songs, we've had loud instrumental parts, and I like to push different people into the limelight. And so what I've done is sometimes during maybe there are 2 different instrumentals, I might speak into the microphone and say, okay, electric guitar, go for it now. And then the electric guitarist hears it and does a crazy solo, really high pitch, extremely showy. And then for that second instrumental, I want us to do something different. I might go into the microphone and say, okay, keyboards, go. And then the other keyboardist who does all the synths will go crazy on the synths for those 8 bars. And then we come back to whatever it is that we're supposed to do after the instrumental. So I think it's really fun if you can just leverage on preparing the band members and say, hey, look, you're going to do the first solo, so electric guitarists, go home and practice and prepare a solo line. And I think this is great. It just gives everybody an opportunity to shine. And yeah, so you can take the leadership by making musical decisions like this, preparing them, and also saying to the microphone to remind the people who should be taking the lead, and everyone else should just back off a little bit so that they can shine at that moment. I love this thing about music directing. So yeah, you can try that if you haven't. So here's tip number 9. So sometimes the pastor might be talking and then you guys are just supporting the music on the background. On top of saying out the beat numbers, I also think it might be necessary to sing into the microphone. Even if you're not a fantastic singer, you're pretty much singing to keep everybody at the right place. So sometimes you're just playing a really, really still moment. Like it's a very quiet song like, Lord, I give you my heart. And then as you're just playing like one chord, you're not even doing bum, 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 bum. You're not setting any form of tempo. Sometimes I find that, yeah, you just the pad, and then you can sing the song quietly into the microphone, just to let everybody know which section you are at. Because I think the words of the lyrics really help us to know, oh, was that the first half of the chorus or the second half of the chorus? So if you sing into the microphone, that just dispels any doubt about, oh, which section are we at? Because sometimes the first and second choruses, parts of the chorus sound alike, but the words are different. And then maybe the chords differ a little bit. So you want to make sure everyone's on the same page at the same place with you. So yeah, don't be shy about like, oh, I don't have a good voice and stuff. The idea is, and no one's going to hear you anyway except the band. So go ahead and just sing. And for the sake of unity and for the sake of making sure everyone's on the same page and playing the same thing together, I think it's really a great way. Don't be shy, just sing into the microphone. Okay, so here we go. Tip number 10. Remember how we said that the music director's mic is one way, so you speak, they can hear it, but they have no way of replying you. So if, and I think as a music director, you really need to keep watch, because you're constantly, of course, your eyes are fixed onto the worship leader, because if the worship leader gives a signal, like let's repeat the chorus, you've got to be the first one to see it, and you've got to be the one to say into the microphone, hey guys, let's repeat the chorus, right? But you also want to look around and make sure that your band is doing fine. So make sure that just every few seconds, do check on the people on your right and left, and make sure that everyone's doing fine. And sometimes you might find that the musician right at the far corner has something that they want to say to you. So at an appropriate moment, you could, and you probably should, if you think it's quite important and there is a chance to, just stop playing, maybe get someone else to play to cover up that moment, and just go to that person on the far side of the stage and ask, hey, so what's up? Yeah. And then you can just hear that person out, because sometimes it's a really crucial thing. And this is what happened during our service. And I was so glad I walked over to the drummer on the other end of the stage, because he was going to ask something that would pertain what we play later. So yeah, you might need to just put down your instrument, take off your earpiece, and just go over for the sake of maintaining some form of two-way conversation when the need arises. So here we go. We've got tip number 11, which is a bonus. And that is, it's really easy to get engrossed with the music and not really worship when we're playing. So what I like to do, and I think it's really nice to do as well, is you can say it in the microphone, guys, let's remember to worship. Remember to worship. Remember to worship using your body language. So electric guitarists might just want to move a little bit more, or maybe during quiet moments, everyone could just raise up your spare hand and just appear, not like for theatricals really, but that everyone can just lead by example, because the congregation needs help just going into the presence of God sometimes. And as musicians, we are spiritual leaders. So I think, yeah, it'd be really awesome if we can just remind people in the microphone going like, hey guys, let's worship. Yeah, and then it's so cool when you start to see your band members doing this and just singing, and wow, it's just really awesome. So if you haven't tried that, go ahead and try it. Okay, so there we have it, 10 or rather 11 music directing tips that I have to share. And I really hope this has helped you if you are music directing. And I really also want to find out what you think. Do you have some other tips to share? Do you defer in your opinions? Go ahead and leave a comment at the comment section below. I think all of us will be interested to hear from you. If this video helped you, do remember to give a thumbs up. And finally, if you want to find out more about worship keyboard playing and you want to learn how to do it better, I've got a ton of free resources. Just go onto my email list and sign up for it for free, and you can access all these resources for free as well. The links are below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm Sandra signing off. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye!